What is good, people? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video I thought I would give you guys a little recap on the Golf project so far. We have owned the car for about a year now and we have gained quite a few subscribers since. So to catch everybody up to this date, I thought I would talk through the car, talk about what we've been through, all of the previous 20 odd episodes that we've done on this Golf, and just give you guys more of an explanation of what's happened since, kind of like a recap video. And then we're just going to get straight into it, guys. If you enjoy these videos, be sure to give it a like and subscribe, and let's crack on. So I thought I would bring the Golf back to its original location. When we first bought the car, it was delivered to our house on a trailer. I didn't look under the car, didn't go for a test drive, didn't do anything. The first thing we did was bring it here. We have just bought a Mk2 Golf. Whoever would have thought it? We have bought a 1991 Alpine White Mk2 Golf driver. So it has the 1.6 carb engine, comes on 14s, interior I believe full GTI interior, which if anybody knows me, it is not going to be staying this. It's got 103,000 miles on, everything inside works, and pretty much I've driven it to here and to get some fuel, and then we're going to be taking it for an MOT. Shortly after we brought the car to this location to film a couple of cinematics, we took the car straight to an MOT just to give us an idea of what was wrong with it. The next morning we got a call from the MOT station to tell us that this car did fail its MOT. Near side front track rod end was loose and the near side rear wheel bearing needed replacing. The same day the car failed, we took a trip straight to the parts shop, ordered the wheel bearing, and we noticed that the near side front track rod end was actually loose. So we tightened that up, placed the near side rear wheel bearing, sent it back for its MOT, and it passed with flying colours. Skadoosh! Last time it had an MOT, 2014, so almost 10 years ago this car had a valid MOT. Next vlog after that, we'll sort out the suspension. So this car come on stance plus coilovers. They were only a couple of years old, but the front was actually lower than the back, so we had to sort that out straight away. So we didn't want to slam the car straight away because we weren't sure how low the car was in conjunction with the garage, getting it off the driveway. We didn't want it scraping or anything like that, so we just evened out the ride height just to make it look a little bit better. We took it for a road test. We got a Mk2 Golf. This thing is so slow, but it's so fun. We test fitted the heck blend just to see what it looked like, and my reaction was priceless. Let's stick this on. So we won't put the reg on now, but just to kind of give you guys. That looks good. Shortly after that, we then test fitted the Lupo steering wheel. I love it. I think the steering wheel is such a good design. Can it work? And the answer is yes. Looks phenomenal in my opinion. After we test fitted the Lupo steering wheel, we ended up putting on some smoke side repeaters. After that, we made sure all of the electrics worked inside the car, so we made sure all the lights work and everything else is all okay. During the checks, we noticed the near side number plate light is inoperative, so I ended up reseating it and it ended up working okay. So when the car had failed its MOT, obviously I went about fixing all the near side components. Now when the car was stripped down, I was greeted by an absolute bodgery of a job. Both rear brake pipes to the calipers were ran straight from the master cylinder, so there was no flexible joints in it at all, and it wasn't even clipped into the body of the car, making it very dangerous and not advisable to use. I couldn't unsee it, so the first thing I did was order all brand new components. So I ended up spending about £200 rebuilding the whole rear braking system, including brake pipes. We did bearings, discs, pads, flexible pipes, we had braided lines. It was an absolute nightmare, but we did it. We got through it, we bled up the system, and the car ran much better than last time. To go with the smoke side repeaters, I ended up buying some smoked indicators to replace the amber ones. Shortly after we did the braking system, we had bought ourselves a D-badge front grille because this car was sat on the original quad headlights. They weren't my favourite look at all. It was difficult trying to pick up grills for these cars, so I picked up the nearest one I could get, which was a single light D-badge one, but it was better than the quad light. At the same time doing the front grille, we ended up putting the upgraded headlight bloom in, which made an absolute massive difference. At the same time, we also put on some LED front lights as well to give us better visibility at night, because as you know, your phone light is better than these lights. After putting the grille on, we had to sort out an issue we had with this engine. So it was suffering from a fault where when it's idling, it sounded like it had a really big air leak, and that is because it did. This carburetor gasket that sits just between the carb and the inlet manifold had a massive split in it. Very common on Mark II Golfs. So I went about replacing that, took it for a road test, everything was fine, and then we moved on. This car didn't come with a stereo, I needed to buy one. So I ended up going for a period correct one that had DAB and Bluetooth functions. We ended up installing a short shifter kit. Now, if you don't know about the short shifter kit on the Mark IIs and Mark IIIs, wow, you're sleeping on it. Made an absolute massive difference to way this gear knob feels. Gives you a nice short throw now, and for £11.55, it's a no-brainer. Next on the mod list, we ended up replacing the rear bumper, swapping out the original for a red stripe GTI bumper. Still on the hunt for a front one to this day for a whole year now, so if anybody's got one, message me in the link in the description. Shortly after that, we ended up replacing the headlights for these smoked crosshair headlights. Made a massive difference to the visuals, but these are left-hand drive lights, so they're not very good at night. Must-do mod I do on all of my Volkswagens is install this replica golf ball gear knob. I replaced all of the worn linkages for a new replacement set. We test fitted some wheels we had in our ownership for about 8 or 9 years, and I realised quickly we're going to either need bigger arches or a lot of camber. So the same video we did the rear bumper and headlights, we almost blew this car up. So I moved the car out of the garage to get a few thumbnails. The car instantly cut out, then wouldn't start after that. Kept trying to crank it. Eventually I saw lots of oil shooting out of the engine bay, so obviously shut the car off, inspected it. I was panicking like crazy, thinking what the hell it is. Managed to get the car back in the garage. Later on, after a couple of posts on Facebook, we ended up diagnosing the fault as a broken oil pressure relief valve in the oil pump. So obviously we took another trip back to the parts shop, got a new pump, put it on, fixed that issue, and then we moved on to something else. After the oil pump, we installed the Lupo steering wheel, making sure the indicator cancel worked and the horn worked all okay. Ever since we bought this car, we've been drawing up plans for what to do with the interior. It has gone under a few different renditions. This is probably design number 4 or 5. It's actually taken that long for me to finalize a design that I was happy with and something that I wanted to go ahead with. We ended up choosing grey tweed and then having the tartan tweed in the middle. It's just something to offset the colour. I wanted something that universally a good colour, nice little light grey, but then at the same time I wanted a nice design to put in the middle of the seat just to draw your eye a little bit. So we started wrapping various trims. Bearing in mind this was the 29th of October, that's when that first video was uploaded, when we first trimmed the first component on this car. We didn't finish until the 9th of March, just to give you an idea of how long it takes to do an interior. So shortly after the decision we made to sell the Golf estate, we was looking for a replacement vehicle, and that is how we have landed on this Mark II Golf. So we was offered this car by a friend of a friend. He sent me pictures of the car and instantly started drawing up plans of what I would have that car look like. And the first thing that I had envisioned was a BBS kit. So that is what we got. So I ended up looking on Marketplace, as you do, for a BBS kit, and we came across one. But this was the time I hadn't found anybody to paint the car yet. So I didn't see there being any point on having a BBS kit laying around, spending a lot of money on a car where I haven't even painted it yet. So I ended up scrapping that plan. Shortly after, I regretted my decision of passing up the BBS kit, because now I'm thinking, because BBS kits are rare to come by, I might not ever get another one. So I started looking again. Luckily, I managed to find one and I snapped it up straight away. In that same video, we ended up test fitting the kit just to give us an idea of what it looked like, and I was blown away and excited. At the same time, we had some wheels that we'd had in our possession for about 8 or 9 years. So we had some Lincoln Town Car wheels that we'd had for years and years and years and years. And I thought that they would look perfect on this car. So we test fitted them, and with the kit, looked phenomenal. We got excited on the BBS kit. We started doing all the interior wrapping on the parcel shelf supports, and we started on our very long 200 hours worth of labor sorting out this interior. All car guys are going to understand what I'm about to say next. So when we drew up plans for this car, we had a semi-sensible idea of what we wanted the car to look like. We didn't want to spend ridiculous amounts of money on it because we wanted to use it. We wanted to use it as a promotional vehicle and we wanted to have fun doing so. That was until I was scrolling on Marketplace. I had no business doing so, but I was anyway, and I come across an air ride kit for the Mk2 Golf for a very good price. I had the money there and it was instant. So we took a trip to go and pick up some air ride, and then over a day or two we was installing the air ride in -1 degree weather, and as you can see right now we can actually enjoy the fruits of our labor. So the kit was missing a few vital components that we were spending a long time trying to order, waiting for them to come in, order, waiting for them to come in, but eventually the air ride was on and it was ready to go. After we put the air ride on, as you can see, the rear arches were catching the tires, so we ended up doing a quick arch roll as we knew we was going to get the car painted after this. Car now on air suspension. It's going to make it a lot easier for us to test fit wheels because we can just take the air out of the bag and then jack up one side just to get the right fitment. We later discovered that we're going to need a lot of camber and we're not going to be able to have any room for adapters. Luckily the BBS kit is going to give us a little bit more width to tuck those wheels in. After that, we wanted to sort out the rear VW badge. It was not to my taste and I didn't think it really looked good on the Mk2 Golf. So we ended up sourcing a genuine one and made sure that looked loads better. In the same video, we ended up throwing in the towel and buying a brand new aftermarket red stripe front grille because they were impossible to find a genuine used one. Shortly after that, we wanted to sort out this little pea shooter exhaust. Despite it not being installed yet, we managed to source a nice period correct Remus twin back box. I think it's going to look perfect on this BBS kit and we can't wait to get it installed. After that, it was back on the interior, so we ended up doing the front and rear door cards. Absolutely beautiful. While the car was in the body shop, I thought I would make their life even more difficult and ask them to retrofit some Corrado rear seats into this Mk2 Golf. So they set about welding all of the brackets in, and with not much time at all to spare, and we managed to get these retrimmed in time for Ultimate Dubs. Once that was done, we needed to make a decision on what front seats we wanted to make. So we had two options. We had Mark III Golf Recaros, and we had these, which were Mark 1 Astra GTE seats. The reason why I went with these is because not only do they sit a little bit lower, but I think they look a bit more period correct with this car. The Mark III seats are quite rounded on the bolster sections, whereas these are quite angular. These, I think, are more period correct with the Mk2 Golfs being a sort of mid to late 80s car. Mark III's obviously being a more 90s car. I think I made the best decision on which seats to choose, but let me know in the comments down below if you think I should have gone with the Mark III's. After that, it was a trip to the body shop. So the person I sold my Mark III Golf Estate to had just opened a body shop, and it was perfect timing because I was ready to spend silly amounts of money on the car. So after a couple of months of updates, many vlogs, many trips up to the garage, test fitting wheels, making sure the body kit was okay, making sure that the damage had been sorted out, going through all of the logistics on the body itself, we was presented with what you see right now. Shortly after we received this car, we had just under a week to get it built up for Ultimate Dubs. At that time, I had no time off work, so I was having to spend all of my time after work putting all the interior back together, making sure things were trimmed. We ended up finishing it at 10 o'clock the night before Ultimate Dubs. All of the headliner in, sunroof, pillars, door cards, seats, rear seats, everything you see in the interior. Ended up buying this Vortex console to house our 3P management controller. With not much time to spare getting all the interior back together, we ended up putting the heck blend on with the press plates to give that early 80s look that I was looking for. All dialed in, ready for Ultimate Dubs in the morning for its very first show. Ultimate Dubs Day was a great success. I had a really good time. Lots of people came up and saw the car, taking pictures, come in and have a chat with me. I was handing out lots of business cards. Nice little plug. And we was trying to promote the interior. This car's been a labour of love all the way. It's only taken us just under a year to build this thing. Obviously we've still got plenty of stuff to do. We've still got the wheels to do. The exhaust needs to go on, and we've got loads more planned. We've got to do the engine, we've got to sort out the engine situation. We still need to get a red stripe front bumper. There is still lots more to do. The list never ends, guys, but we are enjoying every step of the way sometimes. So in recent videos, I've ended up installing these polished hardware for the wings, slam panel just there, wings there, bonnet hinge, and then the top couch. Obviously, when we sort this whole situation out, these are going to complement them really nice. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's helped me along the way, and a massive thank you to all of the subscribers that like the video and subscribe. Massively appreciate it. It doesn't justify what I do, but it makes everything worthwhile. Do you know, when I'm struggling in the garage and stuff like that, and I get really nice positive comments from you guys, it really does mean a lot. So I really appreciate everything you guys do. Make sure, if you aren't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button and like the videos. It does help out a lot. We have got a Patreon in the link in the description. It's going to share all exclusive content. Just go and sign up, you will see everything that's on it. 20 pence a day, it's not really going to be anything to break the bank, but it's going to be a massive help for me, because it means that I can put more money into the YouTube channel, maybe upload more often and make more builds just like this, guys. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week for another video. Peace.